Hey now, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, 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 hey now. Hello and hey now. I'm hearing so many stories from so many different people that I know about old radio people and their crazy antics. I didn't realize I had so many loose connections to all these people that I didn't even know.
All the cool people listen to us.
Well, because I didn't know nothing about. I never really listened to Mark and Brian. I don't think I ever did.
Well,
Like,
considering you were probably 3 when they were at their peak.
well, so they were at their peak in the '80s.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were like a '90s.
Well, I mean, in Birmingham, it was 80s.
And then what year did they go to Los Angeles?
1910.
19. No.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. I'm sure everybody else could tell us.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow. The fall of 87.
Dang, dude. Yeah, no wonder I didn't listen to them. That's a long time ago.
I should have known. I've read half the book. But, I mean, I was in a funk.
Yeah. You were in a dark place.
Yeah.
Christian says, I missed the punch you guys were talking about, but because and Bubba had it going on, pirate radio, do not forget about the morning coffee too. Can you translate that?
Evidently, there was a show called The Morning Coffee that had a punch to it. They served punch, and it was a place that Bubba liked to go after the show. That's what I'm guessing.
He says, but BC and Bubba, what is BC and Bubba, had it going on?
BC and Bubba.
Man, there's probably typos in there, and he's, I can tell some of y'all are driving and texting, and I'm going to discourage that. That's illegal. Okay.
Yeah, let Siri handle it. You can do it without even looking at your phone,
Yeah.
unless you have an iPhone 16e.
Well, some of these people also barely speak English, so if they try to, text to speech, it's probably because they still have a bunch of typos in it.
Wow, this is true.
And yeah, I don't know what you're saying, Christian, but maybe if you rephrase that, I'm assuming that he's talking about maybe Rick and Bubba.
Well, there are other shows around the country that have Bubba in them.
Sean says Andy Spinosi and Coyote J were better after Mark and Brian.
Yeah.
Were they on their show? Is that what he's saying? Andy Spinosi and Coyote J?
Yeah, and Andy Spinosi, oddly enough, when I was going to move to Birmingham, Jack Boston, they told him that his producer was going to be Andy Spinosi. And he told them, and this is where we got really close, he said, well, if I can't bring my own producer, I'm not coming.
Yeah.
And they finally relented, and that's how I was able to get in radio. But Spinosi was a force. I mean, he was a force. It was so sad when he passed away.
Yeah.
He had heart issues anyway, but he was a force. I mean, and we never really hung out or anything. I would have loved to get together and do some creative stuff with him,
And so what happened to him?
He passed away
at
a young age.
Oh, like how long after that?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not good with times. It was in the 90s.
Yeah.
I
mean, he didn't die from like a broken heart after, he couldn't get the gig.
No,
right?
I believe he had like inherited some heart issues.
Oh.
But yeah, just super, super talented. Wish I could have worked with him.
Interesting. Yeah, if I ever got called to another market, I would say I'm not coming unless I can take John Bird with me. I would just tell him no right off the bat. I mean, I'm not interested in moving anyway, but that's the only way I could do it. There's no other option. I've already gone down that road, having other producers. I've had two producers, like two steady producers in my time in radio, and that is John Bird and Jessica. Those are my only two main producers I've ever had. I've had others produce my show, obviously, fill-in producers. When I first got here to 99.5, they threw, I guess, David Sears at me, and I think there may have been one or two more before they finally gave me John Bird. But, you know, regular staple producers, you and Jess are the only two.
Yeah, I never quite fit into radio. I don't mean this in a bad way, but I was a musician doing radio, and I've always not looked at myself specifically as a radio guy. I'm just somebody who's on the radio,
Yeah.
you know.
Kelly says we need a country lawyer on the radio program. He had an awesome last night on the podcast, and the members only part was even better.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get him to call in. I mean, I've got his number.
Could you get him? Could you get him to? Do you think he could call at some point today?
And probably not today.
No.
No, I mean I'll have to schedule something. I'm sure because
I mean all you got to do is give him the hotline number and then
Yeah, well, I mean I have to find out how much he'll charge because I mean this guy is all about the money,
Yeah. I mean we could just talk to him for like 5 minutes. So just just get with him and see when we can get him on the phone. I'll tell him don't have to be prepared. Like I'll lead the conversation. Tell him I just got a few questions for him, and he can just answer them as he feels the need. Just tell him to watch his language this time a little more so than he did last
I'll
night.
just have to have the button.
Yeah.
Just have the button ready.
Richard the Cop, what's up?
Years ago, Coyote J would do a live broadcast on Saturday night from a bar that was located in a hotel that's closed right here off of Oxmoor Road, that big yellow one as you come down Oxmoor Road.
Oh, yeah.
What was that called?
The club was called Jitterbugs.
Jitterbugs, yes.
And I found out just a minute ago, I got curious and looked him up. He was DJing on a station in D.C. till the end of June this year under the name DJ Calhoun, and he has stepped away from that. And it said to pursue other interests, but it didn't say what.
So he was on the radio in Washington, D.C. until April this year?
No, till the end of June.
Oh, so just a couple weeks ago?
That's exactly what Google told me a while ago.
What? No, that's crazy.
He was under the name DJ Calhoun because I asked it if Coyote J. Calhoun was still in broadcasting, and if so, where at? And that's what it told me.
Wow.
So he's still in there and out there. My big radio memory is November of 1979, before the Alabama-Auburn game. Kicks 106 had a guy on the evening shift doing the ride home under the radio name Larry O'Day, and they pulled a big publicity stunt because you didn't know that if somebody just went to the antenna and cut off the transponder, you couldn't take over. But he supposedly locked himself in the studio and for 4 hours played nothing but The Tide is High.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. Okay, now let me say this Coyote J thing because this is what I'm getting from Grok. Okay, it says Coyote J Calhoun. His real name is Jim Batten. Is still doing radio today. He hosts Coyote J's Sunday Night Cemetery of Rock on WJLX 101.5 FM in Jasper, with a classic hits, oldies format, and streaming available. The show features 70s to 90s rock, focusing on lesser-known or deep-cut tracks that have been remastered. It debuted in late October of 23, originally Sunday, 7 p.m. to midnight, and remains listed on the station's current on-air talent page.
Wow.
It says this marks his return after about a decade away from regular radio. Yeah, so it's saying he's in Jasper. So maybe Google was just getting maybe there's two Coyote J's out there or something.
I don't know, but I was hoping. I remember listening to him when I'd be working at night. I'd be pushing the old yellow cab around when I was still a cop on the side, and they do all kind of stupid contests over there at Jitterbugs.
Yeah.
But that whole hotel's gone now. It's right there by the Hardee's on Oxmoor.
Oh yeah, I know where that's at.
Yep, I pass it every day.
I never went to Jitterbugs because I'm assuming it was closed down before I was old enough to get into clubs. But I remember hearing about it on the radio.
I remember Senior Frogs.
Me too. I remember making a lot of money at them places, man.
Mm-hmm.
And found out something interesting the other day, and I'll say this to let you go. I picked up a guy at the comedy club Sunday about 12:30 in the afternoon, and I thought, mighty early to be ending a comedy show. Apparently, when Bruce Ayers had it, he contracted, and they do a drag queen show over there once a month, every month at the comedy club.
On Sunday mornings?
On a Sunday morning, because the show was over with by 12:30, because the guy I picked up had been at it watching it.
Wow, that's bizarre.
And I said, did they just start that after Bruce Ayers sold the place? He goes, oh no, we've been doing it for years, once a month. I'm like, okay.
He said it
You
just
need
like
to
that.
make a note of that. Y'all have a good day, boys. Roll Tide.
All right, buddy. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so he's in Jasper, at a Jasper radio station. So some of these guys are still floating around, doing their thing. And
It's hard to get it out of your veins.
Yeah, I mean, radio is just the thing. Is you got to be digital, right? And for us in talk radio, like, we can be digital and put the majority of our content online. If you are a music station where you can be digital streaming audio-wise, you can't really stream video content because you can't play the music. You don't have necessarily the rights to play the music on platforms like YouTube or Facebook or whatever, and that's at the least half your show. So there's only so much digital you can do with the music station. But music stations are still going. I mean, a lot of people say music stations are dead, but obviously not, They're still going. People still listen to that stuff, So our boy Nick Nice, he works for Destin FM. He does a show on there, and he's popular. He's a popular guy. Let me go over to Dave in Woodstock. Well, I tell you what, Dave, hang on for me. Let me hit this break. I'll come back on the other side. I'll get you. I got a couple phone calls I'll get to, and then we'll throw some of these headlines at you. 205-545-9950. Back after this. Jamie said that there was a Mark and Brian sticker that made it on an episode of 90210.
Wow, that's big time for back then, 91, 92.
Yeah. That's interesting. Sean says Coyote J's been working steadily for decades. He was in Georgia for a while.
Yeah, you got to be willing to move around. And I wasn't when I moved to Birmingham. I was like, this is it. This is my home.
Bill says that's wild. I used to live a couple of houses down the street from him when I was about 10 years old. First thing I ever went on the radio was his show. So, well, that's a cool story. And they say Coyote Calhoun is on Facebook, says Wes. So, y'all can go look him up if you want to. So that video we showed last night on the pod of the woman with the stripper pole in Texas that ended up knocking down her sprinkler head and flooding the apartment.
Yeah.
I've got some of the backstory on that. It says a West Houston woman's pole dancing ended in disaster. This is from ABC News in Houston. Ended in disaster after the pole hit a fire sprinkler and flooded her and a neighbor's apartment. Asha Gilbert was filming herself in her living room on July 6th as she followed along to a pole dance workout tutorial. Right as she began spinning on the pole, the top dislodges from the ceiling and hits a fire sprinkler, causing water to shoot everywhere. She said, immediately, I'm in shock because I'm like, oh my gosh, this cannot be happening to me. The pole was a recent addition to Gilbert's living room. She says a colleague had given it to her just 3 days prior. She said, he was like, hey, I have this pole. I'm giving it away. Do you want it? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I want it. Yeah, one of her guy friends is like, hey, I got a stripper pole. You want it? Just send me some video of you using it. But when she and a friend installed it, they didn't anchor it to the ceiling. Instead, they relied on the pole's natural tension between the ceiling and the floor, which is what I said last night. They probably just tried to wedge it in there and thought, nah, it'll be all right. But the thing is when it started to tip over, as her big ass was swinging around on it, it tipped over in the exact spot to where it could nick the sprinkler head that was on the ceiling and start spraying everywhere, dude. It was crazy. It wasn't even a thought that it could possibly hit the sprinkler, she said. We were more worried about it hitting a wall. So you end up feeling a little bad for this woman, even though the video is hilarious. I mean, you can imagine the hassle it is of flooding your home.
But look, now this is stupidity at its finest.
Yeah, that was pretty stupid. That wasn't a smart move on her part.
No, what you have to do, you have to find the joist up in the ceiling, and you have to attach it to that with probably lag screws, I would suggest. If she'd called me, I could have taken care of it.
Yeah, John Bird could have done it. Dave's in Woodstock. Dave, what's up?
Just talking about Coyote J, I remember him and a guy that went by the name of Super Fox that was on. They were on competing radio stations here in town. They used to share an apartment over in Homewood and live next door to a friend of mine.
Wait, competing radio guys were living in an apartment together?
Yeah.
But that's weird.
They would sit there and knock each other on the radio, but there again, they were best friends and sharing an apartment. So anyway, just talking about jitterbugs earlier, I remember when Richard Dixon had a mass wedding on Valentine's Day there.
Wait, a mass wedding? Well, like a bunch of people get married at the same time?
Yeah. And I was their photographer, so I still got pictures of it somewhere. I just have to dig them up.
Please send.
Yeah, send them to the tax line, dude. I want to see those.
But that's when he was on this frequency here, him and whoever the Mason of the day was. So
yeah. Well, that's fascinating.
So it's been a while back. So anyhow, a little Birmingham radio history I thought I would throw out.
Good stuff, Dave. I appreciate it.
All right.
See you, buddy.
Later.
Yeah, could you imagine going through like is Jitterbugs that hasn't been converted into anything since Jitterbugs, I assume.
No, it hasn't. It just sits there.
What if you go in there with a black light one day and just scan the place,
Oh, dang. I don't
see what you
know
can
about
find?
that. Well, evidence may have been destroyed.
Well,
over
I
the
guess it
years.
depends on if they were consummating after Richard Dixon's big multi-layered wedding or whatever he called it.
Well, I think there was a motel right there beside it. It's closed down and abandoned.
Yeah, you
But-
definitely want to tell you
Yeah.
any of the hotels and motels around here. You definitely don't want to take a black light to those, especially over there on Vulcan Drive, the Motel 6, Motel 8.
Oh, yeah.
Bruh, I mean, there's hookers. That's Hooker Lane. You see hookers walking up and down that road every day. On the way into work, they're walking up and down that road every single day. Anyway, back after this. There was another situation out near Alcatraz where a pontoon boat capsized out in San Francisco. One person dead, two missing. I don't know if they found those people at this point, but what's pontoon boat doing out near Alcatraz?
Yeah,
Are there Alcatraz tours?
there are, but I wouldn't think they would do it in a pontoon boat. I would think there would be a more sturdy boat because I think the water is coming from two different sources, so it's very turbulent around
Yeah.
Alcatraz. That was another reason that they built that prison there.
It says total of 19 people were aboard the pontoon boat when it caught fire and capsized.
Good grief!
16 people were rescued. It says that one of the people pulled from the water received CPR and was later pronounced dead. Authorities, including U.S. Coast Guard, have 11 vessels, divers, and helicopters searching for the two missing people. Yeah, if that's true, if the waters are that choppy, then they're not going to find those two missing people alive.
No, they won't. They've never found anybody that's tried to escape from Alcatraz back when it was an active prison.
How many people ultimately tried to escape?
Not many. There's 3 that they claim they never were able to find anything, and they think that they actually made it. Let's see.
The old escape from Alcatraz. I just thought that was interesting. That it was and this is a big pontoon boat too. Looking at a picture of it.
8 inmates died attempting to escape. And 36 prisoners made 14 separate escape attempts.
He was really trying to get
6
out of
were
there.
shot and killed by guards during the attempt, and 2 drowned.
Wild stuff, man.
Yeah.
Wild stuff out there in Alcatraz. Got some movement on the House side of things with some a couple different things passing. I'll tell you about that in a moment. First, let me grab a couple calls. Rick is in McCalla. Rick, what's up?
Hey now. Yeah, I was sitting right here just thinking, that's dangerous, ain't it? Especially when you just got an 8th grade education. At least they ain't been indoctrinated. And I'm 67 years old. But what about this natural law?
Which one? What?
I mean, there's certain things that are known worldwide. Everybody's born with a conscience, just like animals that have an instinct. You know, the little chicken, the hen protects the young, don't they?
Oh yeah. Everybody's got a conscience to a certain level. Some people ignore it, but they've got it at least.
This is still the best society in the world, and it was all formed around Christianity, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's what made this nation so great in such a short period of time. Is that I mean, there's good and there's evil, and people are possessed, and I've been possessed, but thank God, I'm trying to change my ways, and Christ can save you. There's peace with Christ, If we'll all start loving one another, there's no telling what we can do. Look at Artemis 1, what we've done up there.
Yeah.
We used centrifugal force and went around the moon, and we brought that spaceship back to Earth.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's pretty amazing, isn't it, Rick?
It sure is.
Mm-hmm. Greatest country on earth.
Yeah, with all its flaws.
With all its flaws.
It's still the best thing going. But we're falling, boys. I think we need to pray for this country and start praying real hard.
I agree.
Love you. Long time.
Love you long time. Thanks, Rick.
Good old Rick.
Yeah, man. Rick's a good old boy. You know, he's all over the road, but I think I've gotten to a point where I can keep up with him. Bubba Rumble. What's up, Bub?
I reckon I like the way that Rick Feather talks. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
That's my brother in Jesus Christ right there. And he, I know we got the country philosopher that calls in, but he needs to share the title with Rick at least.
That's right. Rick is a real country philosopher.
That's the real deal right there. And I wouldn't be surprised if he knows the country lawyer.
He probably does.
I've warned you, Bubba, on the text, and I'm warning you in person. He's gonna come for you. He's got some influential friends. I don't know if they extend all the way to Arizona.
What did you Bubba watched us on Rumble last night. What did you think of that?
I watched you on Rumble and the fake books, mind you.
Oh, did you?
Same time, dude. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Multitasking.
Do you have well, I don't guess you want me to say this, but I was going to say, do you have a Facebook account? But I guess you could watch without having an account.
Not only do I have one of them fake books accounts, but we's all friends on there, me, you, and the J Bizzle. You all just don't know it yet.
Well, why don't you send us like a message on there, like a group message, so we know who you are?
If I send you a message, you actually have to acknowledge it, though, because I know Andrew's a busy celebrity and doesn't have time to deal with us crazy rascals in the listening audience pestering him on the DMs.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I'll respond.
Yeah, do
Okay.
it. And as soon as JB sees it, he'll let me know, and then I'll make a point to go on there and check it.
Well, and see, we got to keep it on the down low. Y'all can't be dead naming me on the air.
No, we won't. We'll keep it secret, but I'll be able to change the name of the chat so I know exactly who it is.
For sure. I would like to do that because I got super secret information that I can't really say on the air because you got the libtard hate listeners, and I don't want them infiltrating our communications,
Right.
And, also I just got to remind the country lawyer that Arizona is indeed a Confederate state, so we're more kinfolk than he might think we are.
Yeah, we'll have to get you two to sit down and maybe hammer out your differences.
I would like to trade philosophies with him, and we even fought Civil War battles right here in Arizona. We was counting on y'all to take care of your side of the nation, but we had the Western Front covered. What happened?
I'm pretty sure that the country lawyer actually fought in the Civil War.
I think he did.
Guys, I'm telling you, making fun.
I'm not making fun. I'm serious. I think he was.
No, if I ever get hemmed up on some moonshining charges, which my great grandpa was a moonshiner out west here, when the mob, when it got hot back east, they all came out and made their moonshines in the mines out here in the desert. And my great grandpa worked for one of them outfits, and if somehow, some way it catches up with me 3 generations later, I might need the services of the country lawyer.
Yeah,
He'll be there for you if the price is right.
We'll keep you two in touch.
I'll pay him in. What was you guys drinking last night? Evans something or something?
It was
Elijah Craig.
Elijah Craig, as well as Sweet Home Spirits, which is out in Leeds, Alabama.
Well, I think Sweet Home Spirit sounds a little more like what the country lawyer would imbibe in had he a choice.
A little Sweet Home Alabama whiskey.
Hey, and real quick on this Mark and Brian thing, I've already told this story on here once before, but I was saying I used to listen to a dude from Birmingham every day for years, and that was Mr. Mark Thompson, and I listened to him on his home station out of Los Angeles, KLOS. In the early days, they were just as wild as anybody on the air, and they actually had to go to court over a lawsuit for one of their gimmick giveaways because they was giving away black hose.
What?
They were. It was just a cheap plastic hoe, but it was a black plastic, like, kids' garden hoe, and they had Mark and Brian painted on it. And then, ironically enough, they got sued by an actual black hoe over it, and it turned out to be quite a thing. So they were pretty wild in their early days. And the ironic part of what came down Mark and Brian, when you think about how out of control Disney is these days, their parent company got bought out by Disney back in the day, and they put a muzzle on those guys right when Howard was starting to get a little more popular. And Howard, being the opportunist that he was, took full advantage of it. And Mark and Brian were over there with kindergarten rules on them. And they did well to stay on the air as long as they did, but they were muzzled by the mouse.
That is bizarre.
Isn't it, considering how, like, just off the hook Disney is with everything these days. If Disney would have bought them out now, they probably would have said, "You guys can just say whatever you want."
Yeah, I know, and especially considering, I mean, now that we look back, and I think most people have probably seen it, even in some of the old Disney movies that like I grew up with, the subliminal messaging within the movies that were sexual in nature. It's kind of like, listen, Disney is not necessarily kid friendly. You know, they're putting all this stuff in there.
Yeah, they were, and I remember the character Penis Pete. I tell you what,
What?
he got in a lot of trouble.
Penis Pete.
Penis Pete. He only lasted a couple of episodes back in the 60s.
Is that real, or are you making that up?
No.
That was from Disney?
Peenos. They spelled it differently, yeah.
Penis Pete?
No, Penis Pete.
Penis Pete.
Yeah, he was a cowboy.
Howdy, kids. It's Penis Pete.
Check out my 6-shooter.
But yeah, he didn't last too long. No,
well,
did you just making that up? He's just making that up, dude.
But there's no shortage of innuendo in those older Disney movies, and the clips were generated long before AI came around. So guard your kids from Disney movies at all costs.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And hey, I got to say, like I listened to Mark and Brian from almost like the day they came on till the day they went off the air. It kind of choked me up a little bit, and I was living in a void of no show that I could call my own. And then by an ironic twist of fate, I found this show out of Birmingham. So now I listen to a show in Birmingham with dudes from Birmingham. Every day, the void has been healed. The circle is complete.
How about that? Hey, now.
How about it?
And you're part of that.
Now.
And you're a general in the Hey Now Nation on top of that.
That's probably like my biggest flex in life these days, and I don't take that lightly.
Yeah. No, you're part of the Hey Now Nation, the Hey Now Army. So there you go.
That dadgum tickles me to death. I tell you what.
Good stuff.
Y'all say hi to the country lawyer for me. I'll get back to it. Hey now.
Hey now.
You know.
Yeah, man. Bubba Rumble's a good guy. Yeah, there's a lot of questionable things that have come out of Disney over the years, and but I'm glad we were able to fill that void for Bubba Rumble. Just couple random dudes out in Birmingham filling the void for some random guy out in Arizona. So I hope he messages us, though. I'd like to keep in contact
Yeah, I'm
with
sure
him.
he will.
I think I've even got his number. I think I jotted down his number in my phone one time from the caller ID, and I was going to text him.
It might be good to have him on the podcast occasionally. Have him zoom in for a few minutes.
Yeah, we could.
Give some
Well,
words
he
of
probably
wisdom.
don't want anybody to see him. He tries to keep it low key. We could have him call in.
No, but we do have the ability to do a silhouette, or we could do like a pixel,
like an Alfred Hitchcock, side profile.
Yeah.
There's one we were talking about Dave Ramsey earlier, and there's this one guy that was, and Disney's making me think of this. He does a relationship show and I think it's I don't know that it's a spinoff from the Dave Ramsey show, but it's a guy that I believe was working with him. And so it's about relationships, mostly married people, and some of the people that call in with questions could have something to do with intimate things such as their sex life or whatever. There's just, you can ask anything relationship related.
Mm-hmm.
And relationship, kids, stuff that married people have to deal with. And so this lady calls in, and she's like, yeah, I've got a traumatizing situation, and I need advice. And he's like, well, what happened? She's like, well, my 5-year-old accidentally saw me and my husband doing the horizontal mumbo. And then she said, I'm horrified by this. And my thought is I'm watching this clip, they're doing it, and then the kid just walks in, you know what I'm saying? Busts the door open and is like, Mommy, I beat the bed or whatever. But she starts to tell the story, and she said that, they're doing their thing, and they get done, and she gets up and opens the closet to get her robe out, and the kid is in the closet.
Oh, dang.
And has been in the closet for the entire time. And the mom's like, "Honey, what are you doing in here?" And she's like, "I had a nightmare, and so I came in here." And
Now I have a bigger nightmare.
now I got another nightmare. And she said, "Well, did you see anything?" And she's like, "No, I didn't see anything." But the mom's like, "But I know she not only saw something, she saw everything." And they were getting after it, according to her.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, dude, what an awful situation.
Her future does not look bright, that poor young lady.
And it's still not as bad as watching a Disney movie.
Nope.
She's well, and
At least you know what you get with mom and dad.
the mom was like, well, that's not stuff that you're supposed to see. That's for only mommies and daddies to see. And she handled it well, but she was just seeing if he had any advice for her on how to go forward. I'm like, man, that is pretty traumatizing for everybody involved. Like, that's pretty bad. I saw that clip. I'd show it to Trish too. I'm like, dude, that's crazy. I don't know what made me think of that. I think Disney, but I saw that yesterday. Anyway, 205-545-9950. Let's keep it rolling. The House passing a Trump-backed bill yesterday. I'll tell you what that bill is right after this. So another hearing on Capitol Hill with James Clayton is going on. And James Clayton is the Trump pick for DNI, and the Democrats are asking him over and over and over about whether or not he thinks the 2020 election was stolen. And he's not answering the question. He's dancing around it because he's not willing to say that it wasn't stolen. And I understand the politics of it, and if you say it was stolen, that it's gonna, cause you to get railroaded in the nomination process or whatever. But he's like, no, I'm not answering. He's like, I'm not playing these games. And probably part of that is what Democrats are doing, and why this is their focus point is because Donald Trump's got a big announcement that he's making tomorrow from the White House. And it's going to have to do with election security. And dare I say, it may even be one thing that I've brought up in the past several times is if we can't get the SAVE Act passed, you just declare a national emergency, which is different from an executive order. A national emergency, a declaration of a national emergency for elections can't be challenged in court. It can't be hemmed up and stopped and paused by radical judges and everything else. So that may be what Donald Trump's doing tomorrow night. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I'll talk a little bit about it later. But first, the House yesterday passes the Trump-backed bill to make daylight savings time permanent, John Bird.
Woo-hoo, baby.
So that will be your spring forward. When we spring forward, which is where we're at now, that is where we stay. So once we get to the winter time, it's not getting dark at 4 p.m. or 4:30. It will still get dark earlier, obviously, but it'll be more like, 5:30, I guess, 6 o'clock. And that will also prevent, won't that help? I'm trying to think. That will or won't help prevent kids from having to go to school in the dark in the mornings. Let's see, if we spring forward, it's still going to be dark in the mornings in the winter, right?
Well, yeah, but if you spring forward, well, if they're not doing fall back, then they won't be going to in the winter.
So it won't be dark.
Right. It won't be as dark.
I can't even think of how that works. Anyway, we're not changing the time anymore, and I'm pretty excited about that.